Good morning, children. Today we are going to study about irony in The Story of an Hour. Irony is created when there is a discrepancy between what we expect to happen and what actually happens. So, one major irony of the story is created when Louise Mallard reacts with joy to the news of her loving husband's death. At first, she bursts into tears with sudden wild abandonment. It is therefore even more of a surprise when Louise goes alone to a room and says to herself, "Free, free, free." So she's happy about the loss of her husband, who apparently never looked at her save with love. She's not rejoicing in his death necessarily, but in her own newfound freedom. But she's rejoicing. And this unexpected response to such seemingly tragic news is definitely ironic. Louise's sister, Josephine, kneels outside her door, concerned for Louise's health, as she fears that her sister is overwhelmed by grief. We, of course, know this is to be untrue. If Louise is overwhelmed by anything, it is her happiness that there would be no one to live for her during those coming years. She would live for herself. So here we find dramatic irony being created. We find an instance of verbal irony when Josephine is kneeling outside her sister's door, begging her to come out so that she can comfort her. Josephine was kneeling before the closed door with her lips to the keyhole, imploring for admission. "Louise, open the door. I beg. Open the door. You will make yourself ill. What are you doing, Louise? For heaven's sake, open the door." And Louise articulates, "Go away. I'm not making myself ill." No, she was drinking in a very elixir of life through that open window. When Louise says, I am not making myself ill, she actually means that she has never felt better. She realizes that her sister will not understand the underlying meaning, her relief and joy at her husband's death evoked a profound sense of freedom inside her. When she articulates, "I'm not making myself ill," it is a statement to herself. Knowing that Mrs. Mallard was afflicted with a heart trouble, great care was taken to break to her as gently as possible the news of her husband's death. If her heart trouble was actually caused by the stress of an unhappy marriage, then her statement, "I'm not making myself ill," is even more ironic, since the relief she feels after she's told of her husband's death is actually making her well. Louise descends the steps with a feverish triumph in her eyes as she walks like a goddess of victory, adds to the earlier irony of her initial. Because we would not expect a woman whose loving husband has just been killed to feel triumphant or victorious. It is also ironic that Brentley Mallard walks through the front door as though nothing has happened, because all along we expect him to be dead, since his friend verified the news by a second telegram before coming to break it to Louise. They expect him to be dead and not unlocking the door and entering like that. Finally, the cause of Louise's death, as proclaimed by the doctors that she died of joy that kills, is another example of dramatic irony. We know that her joy did not kill her. Instead, her disappointment that all the freedom she thought would be hers was suddenly snatched away when she realized that her husband was still alive. The main character, Mrs. Mallard, is a woman who feels the stress of being a repressed wife. As a woman, the lines of her face show her to be much older than she really is. The stress in her life has prematurely aged and overwhelmed her. Upon learning about the untimely death of her husband, she locks herself in her bedroom to think about the path her life will take. She looks out of the window and notices the renewal that nature brings and begins to embrace herself as a free woman. Soon after her epiphany, Mrs. Mallard emerges from her bedroom like a goddess of victory. Unfortunately and ironically, her joy comes to an abrupt end. Mr. Mallard has not died in a train accident. Instead, he was not even at the site of the accident and is alive. Here is where the story hits its ironic twist. After seeing that her husband is still alive, Mrs. Mallard dies on the spot upon the realization that she's bound to succumb to the fact that she's again a bound woman. This new epiphany kills her. She died at the dissolution of the newly acquired self identity.